All right, hello everyone. My name is Bianca Brookes, and you are watching Trading Photos. Today we have a very special and beautiful guest. Her name is Tournesoul. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming on the show. So tell us, your stage name fascinates us. How did you come up with Tournesoul?
So it did take a little while. When I was growing up, I was bullied. But I had a strong support system with my family and my grandparents. And my grandmother always told me, to follow your dreams and just make sure, if you're singing, sing out loud and don't let the stage fright get to you. And I knew that her favorite flower was sunflower. My favorite flower was sunflower. So I just wanted to look up. I'm like, you know what? What's my favorite language? French. What does sunflower mean in French? Oh, Tournesoul. So it kind of just came together. And then the soul music aspect, coincides with me being a neo-soul singer. So that's kind of how it went.
Well, that's super exciting. So since you do soul, would you consider a collaboration with Erykah Badu, India Arie?
Who wouldn't? Especially Erykah Badu. She's just she's like Mother Nature in human form, to be honest. And I love India Arie, even like Lauryn Hill and Floetry, and they're not Floetry anymore, but those soulful singers and stuff. But yeah, definitely. Hopefully that's like written in the stars one day.
Yeah, speak it into existence.
Always.
All right, so tell us, how did you get involved in singing?
Well, I've actually been singing since I was 4 years old, and for so long, like I said, I had stage fright, and I could not get on the stage. I could dance on stage.
You had stage fright?
Yeah, I had stage fright.
I see you are natural on stage.
People don't believe it when I say it, but it was really, really bad. And when my grandmother passed, I just had to kind of use that as a battery in my back to, say, you know what, I'm gonna follow my dreams. So when I graduated college, I started more, working with children and working with the youth, and just saying, you know what, I know that they are limited to whatever resources that they have to follow their dreams. So I'm like, you know what, let me follow mine so maybe I can speak to them through my music and express myself and actually live my dreams and not waste time, basically. So, yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about some of the things that you go through as a singer. What is easy? What has been not so easy?
Okay, so there's a level of anxiety that comes up, being in this industry. And you kind of have to like battle that, because now we're in the time of social media, and you have to, if you don't have a social media marketing person or a manager in that way, you have to do everything. We actually have a business that we're all working on. It's a production company, so we're trying to get, we do media production, cover arts and stuff. So I've been actually creating all of my cover arts under Bond and First. So that's been the easy aspect of having the team, but building the team is the harder aspect, because you want to get more people to handle those things, so that if you're the actor in the production company, you want to just be the actor. If you're the artist, the singer, you want to just be the singer and the artist and focus on those things. It's very hard. It's very hard looking for a dependable booking manager and dependable people in general, because everybody is fast-paced, moving and trying to do their own things and stuff like that. So with all of those things, I'm grateful to be able to songwrite. Like, sometimes I'll wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and have like a melody in my head and just write it down. Sometimes I'll wake up when it's actually time for me to wake up and just write down whatever I'm feeling. I can even be on the train and have like a sound that the train makes. I'm like, I can hear a little tune, and I'll like write something down and just like create all my songs from that. But it's hard, getting the right shows, because sometimes I'll be the only singer on a whole rap artist show, and it's like, okay, am I going to get that much exposure from here, or am I going to make that many connections? And keeping connections is even hard. So it's a number of things, and the list can go on and on and on.
Well, I'm glad you brought up exposure.
Yeah.
Now, I know you're an actor as well.
Yes.
And actors have this thing, we have these memes. Memes are just so funny on Instagram. And they're like, when, sometimes you do things for exposure and sometimes you don't. How do you feel about that?
Me personally, I don't like to take the easy way out. Like, I appreciate the hard work that, comes with the craft of acting and singing. A lot of people will take the easy way out of like, oh, well, I'm going to go do this for exposure. I'm going to go either, show my body for exposure, or start a beef with another actor or something like that for exposure. Like, there's a number of things that people do. I don't personally agree with it, and if it works for one, it works for one, but it doesn't work for me. So you kind of just have to know your way of like what works for you, what things are the benefit and what things are actually an obstacle. So it's like, okay, either way there's going to be obstacles, but what is going to actually hold you back rather than lift you up. So yeah.
All right. And do you want to be signed to a record label, or do you prefer to stay independent?
This day and age, I prefer to stay independent. I would like to get a distribution deal. If I do a record label, it would have to be like for like a single or something, because the way that the record labels work now, the artist isn't really monetizing off of what the record labels are bringing, as far as income. So, of course, it's great. It's beneficial to the artist. They're going to get the exposure. They're going to get, different endorsements. They're going to get sponsorships or whatever, and the list goes on with that. But if something's not coming in my pocket, like, I have to pay bills. Like, I have a family. Like, I want to get my mother out of the hood. You know what I mean? Like, so if that money's not coming in my pocket, then what's the point of being a part of a record label? If I put the hard work in, I'm going out there to do these shows. I'm going out there to, I'm recording. I'm writing the songs. You know what I mean? So it's like, what's the point? So a distribution deal would probably be the most beneficial for any artist, any independent artist and stuff like that, because then you can still stay independent. So.
And I'm so happy that you said that, because a lot of these record labels, we've learned because past artists have spoken out through interviews or tell-all books, and we've learned that they actually leech off these artists. These deals are not what we think they are.
Exactly.
Some of these artists are broke, and it's like, broke? How are you broke?
Right.
And then you learn about some of these deals, kind of like what was going on with TLC.
Yeah.
So it's like you're doing all this hard work, you're putting in all this energy, you're, putting in all this time, and then you're not even getting paid what you should be getting paid.
Exactly.
That's why I'm so happy to see, with the rise of the internet and iTunes and YouTube and Amazon and stuff like that, people can put out their own stuff, and not just put it out, but distribute it and monetize off of it too.
DistroKid, Sonic Bids is another one that you can get your music on, like iTunes and Tidal and all that stuff, and you don't need the record labels to like do that anymore. And like I said, it's good, because I actually have a dream to be a part of Rock Nation one day, in whatever medium that will be, because I sing, I dance, I act, I even paint. So I'm like, whatever way they, but you still have to, like, that independent is rising more than the record labels are. So hopefully it just works out.
That's good. And of course, I'm so happy to hear that artists have now caught on to the game, and they're very smart, and they're like, you know what? No, I'm not going to sign this kind of deal. I'm not going to sign this kind of deal. I need a distribution deal instead. I'm like, okay, good.
Right.
People are waking up. I'm like, this is a good look. I like to see it. And it's unfortunate, because if it wasn't for the artists, these record labels wouldn't be what they are.
Right.
So now these people, if it wasn't for their talent, instead of them being the bosses, they're work for hires.
Yeah, exactly. And I actually, have you seen the movie Cadillac Records? Who hasn't seen that? Okay, so we know the story, with Etta James and stuff, and man, that movie like painted the entire picture. Like, they're like, oh, when am I gonna get my cut of the money? It's like, oh, but I bought you a car, you have a house, you have this, but then when that record deal closes, you don't have any of those things. So it's like, what's really yours? What's free? Like Jay-Z said, what's free? So all of it. But you just have to learn, like, what's beneficial to you and find your lane. You know what I mean? Like, as an actor, as an artist, as a musician, everything. Like, and we're all artists in our own, retrospect. But you really just have to find your lane and work it. Work it.
All right, so a smart woman. Yes.
Thank you.
All right, so tell us, how did you get into acting?
Wow, that actually is a funny story. One day, my sister and I was having an argument in our house, and it was really early in the morning, and my mother tried to chime in, but we decided to go outside and just like, let's talk it out. Let's have a different peace of mind in a different environment. There was a woman who came up to us, and she asked us if we wanted to come to audition for the independent films that she was writing, and we were like, sure, why not? So we went over there, auditioned, and I landed my first independent film, and that was in about, I want to say, like 2010 maybe. And from there on, after doing different films with her, I was a part of a web series. And then I branched out to theater, so I was in a few plays with Electric Black, and I kind of just was like, oh, acting is fun. I'm like, I found a real passion for it that I didn't really know that I had. And my mother laughs when I say that, because she's like, you knew you was going to be an actor somehow, because my personality, I guess. But I was like, nah, singing was always like my number one, like, to my heart. So I didn't think of anything else that could like come along with that. But that's another passion that I have. Although I did take a break from everything else and to focus on singing right now, but it's gonna come back around.
Nice.
It's gonna come back around.
And I think I saw you on Here and Now.
Yes. So Here and Now, that was fun. A part of the plays with Electric Black, with A Subway Story, The Faculty Room, we had a castmate, Laverne, and he has a connection with ABC. So he's like, oh, let's get the plays, because the plays were a series of gun plays. And that was, that was basically, what is it called? Like activism through art. Mm-hmm. So it was very important for Electric, the writer and director, for him to like get the message out through his art and just saying like, this is what happens in our neighborhoods with gun violence, and this is why we have to stop it. So we got on Here and Now. We always just talked about, the woes of gun violence and the woes of being a youth in today's generation, and, what are things that, different kids may go through if they don't have their father, or if they don't have a good relationship with their mom, or don't have their mom, and maybe they grew up in foster care, and, there's so many, like, different, like, layers to everything in the youth world today. So that was really fun, and we had a great time with Sandra. It was amazing. I always love being in her presence, because she's just, the way she speaks is just like, oh, okay, you're great.
Nice.
But yeah, that was fun. I'm glad you was able to see it.
Yes, and I remember I was watching it with my cousin. I was like, I know her. He's like, yeah, okay. I was like, no, I do know her. I totally know her. Mm-hmm. All right. Man. Well, you are a beautiful woman. Likewise, and I really love your natural hair.
Likewise.
Thank you. So, do you do any hair modeling?
No, I don't, and I want to. I actually just submitted this morning when I woke up to there was a hair modeling thing, so I was like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna like submit, like, cause I love my afro, and I permed my hair when I was younger and cut it off when I cut the permed hair off when I was in high school, because I realized no, your hair is like you know what I mean? So wear it. Be you, basically. Yeah,
I did the same thing. I stopped putting relaxers in my hair, and then my hair started growing so fast, and I was like, aha, that's what I needed to stop doing. Okay. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's nice. It's so nice to see women embracing their natural hair and wearing it out, and now it's actually become a movement. Yeah, where I'm actually seeing, I don't know if you saw a video, but there are actually young girls in high school in South Africa fighting for the right to wear their natural hair.
Yes, because they keep getting like suspended or expelled or whatever, because you can't wear your hair like that. It's like, oh no. And I'm glad these girls are fighting for it, because it's important. It's a part of who we are. It's a part of our roots, a part of our history, and it's like we should never be told how to express ourselves. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even if, honestly, if somebody wants to be a stripper, that's what you want to do. Like, that is your prerogative. But your hair, who you are, is like, it's so important. It's so important. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And speaking of being a stripper, I have a question. How do you feel about people who pose nude? Is that, I know people believe in it for artistic purposes. Right. How do you feel about that yourself as an artist?
Nudity, I feel like, is art in a sense, because you're kind of like embracing your entire being, like who you are, and like just as I was saying earlier, some things are for some and some things aren't for the rest of us, and to some degree, you have to put some form of like sexuality into yourself as an artist and everything like that. But for me, nude, no. Like lingerie, yeah, because I'm covered up and stuff. But nude, I don't know. That's like, I have a mom.
I was just about to say that. I have a mom. I couldn't post naked because my mom would see that and she'd be like, and what is this right here?
But the crazy thing is that my mom would support it, because my mom is very like living, like she's very about like, all right, whoever you are as a person, as long as you're not hurting anybody, hurting yourself, that's all that matters and stuff. She's extremely supportive of all of us. I'm the youngest of 4 children. But, I have a mom.
Oh, your mom is nice. If I pose nude, I would be at your house. Can I stay with you? Right. Can I stay with you, please?
Stay over.
Yeah. All right, well, that's good that you have people in your life who support you, because I feel like a support system as an artist is so important.
Yes.
Words can't describe. So how important do you feel networking is in this business?
It's so important, but it's so exhausting. It's so exhausting because I actually learned a lesson like maybe 2 weeks ago. It was something, I don't recall where I heard it from, but it was something that a woman said, a black woman, and for some reason I can't remember at the moment, but what she said was, you don't have to like who you work with, but as long as they can use you and you can use them, it's going to work out. And I was just like, oh wow, okay. Because me as a Virgo, liking people in this game, because we're Virgos, we're like perfectionists. I'll take the quotes off. But you know, networking is really, really important because your network defines your net worth, and you have to be able to, all right, if I can't do something at the moment, oh, let me hit up this person and they could do it. Maybe I can like pay them for it. I believe in paying people for like their time and stuff. So it's like, all right, you do this, all right, cool, let's keep this around. Or connecting other people to, you know, whatever else. Like if somebody's like, oh, can you do a show, and maybe I can't make it, I can send someone else to do it, somebody that I may have networked with. And those people will always like hit you up like, oh, hey, go here or come to this event. And you know, it's important. It's exhausting though.
Yeah. And I don't know if you saw a video Issa Rae made where she talked about networking across the importance, because a lot of people want to network up. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but you know, it's important also to network across with people who are on your level, because it's like you may need something to get done, and the reality is that Tyler Perry don't know you, so you want to network with this man. He don't know you. You need to realistically get someone who can get it done for you. And also true. Something else, that woman, I don't know who she was, but something that she told you is important.
Right.
You're not gonna like everybody you work with, but you know, as long as you can keep things cordial and people understand that it's business, and I feel like that's something you have to be able to do if you want to get far in this business, is be able to put your differences aside and say, okay, you know what, you know how to do this, I know how to do this, we work well together, let's get it done.
Exactly. It's so important. And then it's like the other thing that comes with it, exactly what you said, you're not going to like everybody, but if you're in the room and you don't like somebody, you can't argue with them. It's like, okay, well, that's your job, that's my job. Professionalism, and that's the most important part. Professionalism is key, completely key. Even if you don't like how somebody like puts things together, it's like, well, you know what, you don't have to know that. This is your formula, this is my formula, it's gonna get done regardless. So important.
All right, well, we want to thank you so much for coming on the show. Please let the people know where they can keep in contact with you. I know that you have your new single, Aura, out.
Yes.
Please let the people know where they can find your music, find you online.
Okay, so my EP, Aura, is out. And it is on Tidal, it is on iTunes, it is on Spotify, and you have to go listen to it. I am actually going to be dropping new music by the end of the summer. No dates out yet. I also will be dropping the Silk Sheets video coming very, very, very soon. And if you want to come see me live, come to Club Drum on September 8th. That is a New York Fashion Week event. MTV will be in the building. Source Magazine will be in the building. It'll be an amazing, amazing event. And I will be performing, so come through. You can visit me at my website, tournesoul.com, and find everything you need on there. It connects to everything. So we're good.
All right, well, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, Bianca, for having me.
Yes. And you guys can keep up to date with all our latest episodes at youtube.com/tradingphotos. And you can keep up to date with me at youtube.com/Bianca Brookes.